The Mercedes-Benz Interview Lounge.
Bring in Ryan. I want to meet Ryan. My favorite. Oh, there he is.
Hello.
I love meeting you. Hi, Elvis. Good to see you.
Thank you
for coming in. I mean, we thought you were late. We thought you were coming at 8:30.
Oh.
I'm like, well, he lives around the corner, I think.
Yeah, I do live around the corner.
See, I live around the corner, too, and I've found the closer you live, the later you usually are. Right?
Always, because you're like, it's only going to take me 2 minutes to get there.
Right.
And 20 minutes later, you're still not there.
And this is Danielle.
Hello.
Good morning.
And
How are
Froggy
you?
is in Miami. He's on a camera here
Hey,
somewhere.
Froggy.
And this is scary. You know, I'm wearing glasses because I have a sty in my eye. I don't want to gross you up.
You still look beautiful. And congratulations, by the way.
Oh, that's right. I'm getting married.
Yeah, crazy.
That means I need a larger apartment.
Let's do it. That's my job, man. That's really why I'm here.
Just like that.
Okay,
Let's do it.
I've been enjoying you guys. I've been watching $1 Million Listing since the beginning.
Oh, thank you.
And I think you were always my favorite.
Why? You say that to all the boys.
No, I do.
Yeah, he does.
And no, I'm serious because you were always the snarkiest, sauciest, sassiest, funny guy.
I was until I got married. And now I'm like the emotional, sensitive guy.
That's what did it.
Who's prematurely gray, yeah.
We were wondering why you got nicer.
Yeah, that's what everyone tells me. And now I kind of believe it. They're like, I used to hate you. Now your wife. Now I love you. I'm like, oh, okay. That works for me.
You were like what's his name from American Idol?
Simon Cowell.
You were like the Simon Cowell for so long.
Yeah.
But Simon Cowell has got softer after he had a child.
Right.
He is a different Simon Cowell now on the show.
Oh,
and they
man.
even show his kid.
Now I'm nervous about when I have a baby. Now it'll just be like this big pile of pudding.
Ooh, that's a nice visual.
Yeah, exactly.
Anyway, so Ryan, I know that real estate, especially here in New York City, as we see on the show, is a very competitive. It's very cutthroat. It's very backstabbing.
Yes.
But that's almost, I think you enjoy those aspects of it.
I do. We've done, I have 62 team members here in New York City. I have offices between Manhattan, Brooklyn, the Hamptons, Miami, and Los Angeles. And I got to say, there's something about New York City that competition pushes you really, really, really hard, because we sell in other areas. We sell in New Jersey. I have lots of friends who are brokers all over the country. It's just a little bit different,
Right.
And I think that the other brokers in the city who are equally great and competitive push us just to sell more and more and more.
We're very good friends with Barbara Corcoran. She comes on our show all the time, and
she's great.
She was in the business when it was I think it was a different beast, when it was started to become. New York City became like crazy real estate town.
Yeah.
And now she's relaxing, having fun. I'm having dinner. She's coming over for dinner. You want to come Thursday night?
Let's do it.
She's awesome.
I know where you live.
You do? You do?
Yeah.
How do you know where I live?
I know where everybody lives, man. It's my job.
Really?
Yeah.
Can you sell my? See, I can't sell my apartment right now because that entire area
is all being redone.
It's a mess.
Yeah,
Now,
you got too many things going up across the street.
When you would walk into someone's apartment, are you constantly like, oh, yeah, this needs to be changed. Oh, we'll change this. We can get this much for this. Oh, that
Do you
much
analyze?
for this. Do you analyze everything?
Like Bobby Flay, analyzes my hamburgers?
Kind of. But I think I'm more inner critical. So I walk in, instead of saying, I'm going to change this, I'm going to change that, I'm like, ugh, how could you live like this?
Oh, please.
Why do you put those lamps there? That color on the bathroom? I don't know.
What's the most expensive property you've ever sold?
Listen, in New York City, the money is in new development condo sales. So I work for lots of developers, and the most expensive, we just had a closing 2 days ago for $30 million on Elizabeth Street. We sold something on Park Avenue last month for 36. So that's
what do these people do for a living?
Yeah, where do these people come from?
Who can
They're
afford
DJs.
a 30? Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Who can afford a $36 million place?
There are people who can.
But what do they do?
When I first got in the business, my first day in real estate was the day Lehman Brothers filed for bankruptcy in 2008. And so my first clients were like first-time home buyers, people trying to figure it out. And then it became a lot of finance, right? You have a lot of finance, private equity in New York City. And now you have a lot of San Francisco. You have a lot of people in tech. You have a lot of entrepreneurs. Like the way people make money these days has completely changed. And they all want the same type of real estate. So the amount of money you spend to live somewhere hasn't changed, but the way you make that money has changed, which is interesting to me.
By the way, if you're just turning us on, Ryan Serhant is here. I'm saying your name correctly, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Of course, $1 Million Listing New York on Bravo. But there's something else you're doing, and I think this is my favorite. It's called Sell It Like Serhant.
Yes.
We can call it a spinoff, whatever. But it's you.
Yeah.
Teaching us sales, marketing. You can apply it to real estate. You can apply it to if you're selling hot tubs, whatever. You actually take your magic and you help people who need help, right?
Yes. Yeah. Yeah, it came from a lot of people reaching out to me over the years because we just finished filming season 7 of $1 Million Listing. We started in 2010.
Right.
And people reach out all the time and they say, listen, I saw your show last night and the way you negotiated that deal for that apartment, I did the same kind of thing and I sold 10 more tires today. Love, Rick in Iowa.
See?
And I get all those emails from people. And over the time, it was like, you know what? Maybe I could take what I've learned selling high-end real estate in New York City and go help people who have kind of quote-unquote regular jobs, who are working in retail, working in sales, selling hot tubs, kitchen cabinets, selling, dresses to prom queens in New Jersey, and help them sell more so that they can make more money and so that they can get out of debt. There's a lot of people in the United States who are riddled with credit card debt, student debt, mortgages they can't get out of. And by learning to sell a little bit more, they can take a little more onus in paying down those bills and living a little bit of a better life. So the show was supposed to be kind of funny, just me, as a real estate broker, dressing up in dresses and hot tubs and making wine and learning things and trying to sell. And it really became more of like an intervention for sales. And it became very, very emotional. And it was, kind of the highlight of my life so far.
Sales is more than just making money and exchange of gifts, of items and things like that. It's also sales in our relationships with each other.
Yeah.
We're, seriously, on this show, we do a lot of interviews, and it's a sales job. I've got to find the thing that makes you tick and make you want to say something that's going to be interesting to the people listening.
Right.
So when are we going to start that? But what you do, no, you're the best. What you do, though, in this show, I think, is also sort of parallel to what we do. We teach people, look, if you're working in a career that's just you hate, what is it you want to do? What's your dream? Go for it.
What's your side hustle?
Yeah, start it as a side hustle.
Yeah.
It may end up making you a multimillionaire, or at least you're doing something that you like.
Right.
And so that's where I see you helping people get their dreams rolling.
Yeah, so it was a lot of fun. And the first season just aired, and I think it's in reruns now, and more people are watching it in reruns than they did when it first came out, which is crazy, and I get a lot of great feedback from it. And then I wrote a book, and the book comes out in September, kind of for people that want to build a sales career, but also, to your point, who want to have sales as a side hustle, who have a full-time job, but on the weekends they want to learn how to sell shoes on eBay, and make a little bit more money that might help them with that one extra vacation, or help them, give their kids more Christmas presents, anything like that. Just learning how to sell can really, really help you out. And a lot of people don't do it because they don't think they can. But it
scares me.
Yeah, well, I was the worst salesperson ever.
Well,
I was not supposed to go into sales.
And I want to put the mirror in front of you in a second, because you're talking about helping other people. Let's talk about you. But sales, to me, like downstairs on the second floor, that's our sales pit, whatever. Yeah. What they do scares the crap out of me because I can't handle rejection. Because, hey, you want to buy a minute of airtime? No? I'm a failure. But look at you. You turned a side hustle into a career. You originally were a real estate agent, correct?
I came to New York City originally to be an actor, and I did a lot of off Broadway theater. I played a clock in a basement in Union Square. I did
that was you?
Yeah, that was me. I was the clock.
You're the best clock I've ever seen.
I played the plant. I did a lot of weird stuff. I hand modeled for a little while for AT&T. I held cell phones.
They call those hand jobs, by the way.
They did. I remember telling my parents hey, the best paying job I've gotten all year is a hand job for AT&T.
He does have nice hands.
He does. He has beautiful skin.
Thanks.
Perfect skin.
We're analyzing you.
Yeah, no, I could tell.
But look what you did. But for some reason you had to go into real estate.
I ran out of money. It's one of the worst part, and then the best part about New York City is New York City will really push you up against a wall, and then you either go home or you run away from that wall as fast as you can. And it was the summer of 2008. My hand job career was coming to an end, and I ran out of money. And I was living in Koreatown. It was I either go home to Colorado and paint fence, have a life, do whatever I'm going to do, or a friend told me to get my real estate license, said it's really easy to do. And they said, real estate's the greatest thing. This was the summer of 2008 before the subprime mortgage collapse happened. And said, listen, rent apartments, make your own hours. It's going to be great. And my debit card had just been declined at the Food Emporium on 59th Street. And I was like, screw it. What else do I have to lose? Got my real estate license, started meeting people in Starbucks, started stopping people on the street who were pregnant, telling them maybe they needed more space. Like I was just shameless because I had no money.
Right.
And that's how I built my career.
But now you have a TV show and you're writing books.
Yeah, 2 TV shows, 1 book. I have an app that comes out today.
But this wasn't the plan. Man. But this wasn't the plan 20 years ago.
No, 20 years ago?
Or 15. 10.
I was 20 years ago. My favorite thing was chocolate pudding with whipped cream, and I wanted to be, Sean Penn, and so that didn't work out. But yeah, I was pushed up against a wall because that's what New York City does to you, and I fell in love with the idea of sales. I fell in love with the idea of building your own career from nothing. I fell in love with waking up every day and saying, I have no idea what's going to happen today, but it's going to be awesome.
Right. Okay. And then just a thought, and I'm making an assumption here. When you go out to sell, you have to like pull the strings and push the buttons, and you have to make people want to do things they sometimes don't want to do. And I'm sure when you walk away and they've signed on the dotted line, they're like, "How did he get me to do that?"
No, I think only my wife said that.
But well, okay, let me take it. But let me take it to that. But when you get home at the end of the day,
right?
She knows you.
Yes, she does.
She knows that. And you probably charmed her in some way to get her to marry you. And she loves you. I'm sure she does.
Yeah, she does now.
But you know that when you walk through the door, you got to turn that off. And you got to be you.
Yeah.
And so you don't pull sales tricks on your own family.
I think it's really hard to.
I hate to say sales tricks. I didn't mean it to be sounding so negative. But
no, it's good, man.
Okay, so life balance. Let's talk about it.
Yeah, life balance is really hard. I think it's hard to turn off the person you are from 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. for a couple hours at night or for an hour in the morning, right? Like you're always the same person. And it took me a while. For the first half of my career, I tried to be 2 different people. At work, I was one person, and I tried to get home and be a different person, but it's kind of a lie to do that. So you got to really embrace who you are as a person. And my wife says to me all the time, don't broker me, don't broker me, don't broker me. But I'm not brokering her. I'm just trying to assure her of the choice that I think she should make.
My husband's a real estate agent too.
Yeah.
You're brokering us a lot of times.
But it's out of the goodness of my heart.
Well, no, Ryan. Well, no, but you're probably great at brokering because that's who you have inside you already. So you're not brokering with your wife. You're being you. And that's what makes you successful at the office.
Sometimes I think it's a good thing because he is so good. My husband is so good at what he does because he just gets people and he just understands people and what makes people tick. And it's just
empathy.
Yeah. It's a good thing.
Yeah.
So I guess it's automatic, the empathy thing. So can you break?
I don't think so.
Well, so you have to practice it after a while. I'm assuming it's easy.
I don't think I had good empathy when I was a little kid.
You walked into this room today, Ryan.
Yeah.
And you have just fit right in. We love you.
Yeah.
But see, that doesn't always happen with interviews.
Right.
So
sometimes we ask them to leave.
When you walked into this room, you knew where my apartment was located.
Yeah.
You congratulated me on being engaged.
Yeah.
You saw that I felt a little vulnerable because I have a sty in my eye.
I didn't see that. You pointed it out.
I know,
but
you take. I'm assuming you take all these things you've learned, and you see a profile, and then you treat me the way I want to be treated, and therefore I'm going to buy an apartment from you.
Yeah, it's about adapting, right? You have to adapt to situations. It's also from years of honestly improv classes as a chubby kid in high school, right? And trying to figure out how best to manage situations and saying yes to everything and handling conflict and adapting to other people. I think a lot of real estate agents can be great. A lot of salespeople can be great, but they're so stubborn. They're so my way or the highway. And for me, I can adapt, I can flex.
Yeah, because every one of your clients is different.
Yeah, of course.
Everyone's personality is different. It's like a teacher. Every one of your students is different. You can't just teach the way you want to teach. You have to handle each kid a certain way.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm like the charter school of real estate.
That's you. Okay, Ryan, here we are in Tribeca, USA. 10013 is our zip code. It's a very expensive area. Square footage is going for, on average, on
average, it's about $2,000 a square foot.
Okay, so how many square feet in this room? I know iHeartRadio, 700 square feet.
Yeah,
iHeartRadio is, we're leasing this. Yeah. Could we have you sublease it? Sublet it? Sublease it? You know what I'm saying? Lease it for us.
Right.
How much could you get from this room?
I don't really do commercial sublets. That's totally different. Play along. Okay,
no. Let's say you could live. There's a shower down the hall.
Yeah, there is. It's sullied, but it's there.
How much would this 700 square foot room, let's say it was an apartment, how much would this go for rental or purchase?
Maybe 10,000 a month. Let's say for someone to take this space, 9 to 10,000 a month. I think about my space, my rental space. I pay 18,000 a month for my office, in Soho, and maybe it's like 2.5 times the size of that. But this is a little bit of a better location. Plus, your name is attached to it. I would use your celebrity all day long.
There's your that.
I would use umbrellas to get this place rented with people. It would be great.
You see how that works?
Wait a minute. Your office is smaller than this?
No, 2.5 times the size.
Oh,
of this.
the size of this. Yeah. I was going to say.
So I'm discounting down a little bit.
What, Brody? What? We think we can get $14 million for this space.
$14 million.
Help me out.
No, that's too crazy.
Now, let me give you a little piece of history. See this carpeting below you that's been replayed?
Goodness. Really?
One of our guys actually pooped on this rug 3 days ago.
Accidentally.
The rug that I'm on top of?
No, but we replaced it. You can see where we replaced it.
It's good as new. So have you ever had to sell an apartment that, I'm not going to use poop, but like there was maybe someone was murdered there? And does that make, if someplace is considered haunted, will some people pay a premium for that?
It's a good question, because in California, you have to publicly disclose that. And in New York City, you don't. If you've watched like American Horror Story, I think it was like the first season, the haunted house one, they have to talk about it all the time. And if you watch any of those movies, in New York City, you don't. And I think just because there's just too much history here. I mean, you can't publicly disclose that someone has died in every building in New York City. That's true. But sometimes deaths are very, very public, and you can Google them, and that does affect a sale. You know, there's feng shui, there's bad juju, people get nervous.
So if I want to sell my apartment when it's time, like
your building's new, so no one's died there yet.
It's an old building. They redid it.
Yeah, that they redid. But I'm thinking about it more in terms of like the conversion aspect of it. It's now refreshed. Any death and poop has been wiped away.
Damn it. This makes me mad. Do you love what you do?
I do.
What is it you love most about what you do, Ryan?
I love, just like you talked about your husband, right? Being good with people.
Yeah.
I love the ability to meet new people every day. I actually have a rule that I started when I first got into the business. I said, I'm not from New York. I'm not the smartest person here. I don't know everybody. I wasn't born into the wealth of this city. But I'm going to meet 5 new people every single day. Multiply that by 365 for the next 10 years of my career. That's like 1 billion people. Math was never really my thing. And that's how I'm going to grow my business. And it's been an amazing thing for me. Like, that's my work. My work is getting to meet new people every day and helping them find homes. Like, I could be painting fence in Colorado right now.
You've said that twice now, so I'm sure that is the reality.
That was a job. No, I had that as a summer job. I painted fence, like 10 miles worth of fence every summer in Steamboat Springs, Colorado.
That'd be great to smoke some pot and paint a fence.
No, I painted fence just by myself in my own thoughts, and that was, I was like, you know what? I'm not going to do that ever again.
And what's the best advice you ever received that you still apply to your life and your business every day?
I'd rather regret the things I tried than the things I never did.
Never afraid of failure.
Correct.
Right.
Yeah.
This could all leave us tomorrow.
It could. I mean, listen, you can't live your life like you're going to live forever, right? Like there's always tomorrow. Thankfully, given the way we live now, there is. For most people, there is tomorrow. But for a lot of people, there isn't. And so that's why, I don't know. Maybe one day I'll stop at this breakneck speed that I'm on. Maybe when I have kids, things will change, and I'm sure they will, and that'll be awesome. But for right now, I got to do as much as I possibly can.
You could always go back to hand jobs.
I could.
I can't. See, I don't have hand job hands. These are nasty. They got hair on them. It's not good.
You sure about that?
I'm sure. Season 7 $1 Million Listing is going on now at Bravo. Of course, the show that I think is a little more interesting because it's you. It's called Sell It Like Serhant.
Yes.
Serhant. Which is helping other people figure it out from a guy who's obviously figured it out. And, of course, your book. Hold on a second. Where's the book?
Yeah, the book is called Sell It Like Serhant. You can pre-order it now on Amazon, or if you go to sellitLikeSerhant.com, and it comes out in September.
All right, good. Let me know when my neighborhood is okay so I can sell my apartment.
We'll do. I'll call you.
No, I mean, call me. Be the first to call me. Thank you very much, Ryan.
Thank you, man.
Ryan Serhant.
Yeah.
Perfect. Let's take a break. We're back after this.